So, I'm on my way to get my vehicle smogged after doing a couple other things that I'll explain after the clip. This little story I just happened to have. Basically started off, I got done with work. I was hanging out with one of my homies, or this would be one of my hombres. I was talking about some of the stuff and the problems he was having, and he's talking about, I got the problem with drinking. As we were kind of talking and hanging out after work. And I can tell you what, if you're a white dude, you can go into a kitchen of Mexicans and earn their respect. You got some skills. But anyway, so I was talking with him. Fucking dude's really appreciating the work I've been doing. Fucking loves having me there, especially because it's like, hey, put on your music, man. As the owner said as I was there, he's like, laying down the beat, huh? I was like, well, that's kind of what I do. But anyway, after that, basically left there. Played a little game of tag with this pretty cute little server. I don't know if she knew it was me or not. As I was getting to Petaluma Boulevard North and Stony Point. So I go down Stony Point, get to my former place of bartending. And I had seen a guy there that I had run into a couple times before. Very interesting cat. He had worked at one of the restaurants in town in Sebastopol. And apparently he was going through some shit. Because, I was talking to him like, hey man, fuck, the way the cops been doing me, I could, the fucking second they arrest me, like, the shift that I missed on Thursday, hey, they're probably going to need another cook. So besides the fact that there's this guy they hired at the same time as me, that's kind of a, I'll just put it as, kind of a ticking time bomb. I'll put it that way. But anyway, so I was talking with him about, getting an interview there, and I was like, all right, you know what, let's play a game of pool, and if I beat you a game of pool, then you got to show up for an interview. So we're hanging out, and basically found out, he's like, I got some court shit, homie. And I was like, hey man, that's all good. And so basically got done, and basically, man, it was funny the way he described it. He's like, man, I feel like I just watched Picasso paint a picture, just because fuck, I was on it that night. In terms of playing pool, just fucking, I made like 4 in a row, including a bank shot, made another 3, and then fucking banked the 8. And it was just dink, 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 bank, dink. And like you said, he's like, damn, homie, you didn't have to beat my ass that bad. But, we exchanged numbers, and he was all, about telling me his court stuff or whatever. I didn't know the details at the time. And so, lo and behold, I leave there, feeling fucking super good just because I've been kicking ass at my job, earned everybody's respect. Apparently I'm not supposed to care what people think, but that's something that I really only care about, besides finding a woman to be with. That would be my 1 and 2, caring what people think and finding a woman to be with. I don't give a fuck about being some success or overglorified idiot. But anyway, so I basically got done talking with the pool, said, hey, I got this job lined up for you. And he's like, I got to clear up some things with the place that he might be still working for or not. And he'd let me know. So I leave there, completely able to drive. I know my limit. Just like the night that I did not drive when I met the feminine form of Michael, I knew I was not able to drive that night. And so I basically drove down Main Street, stopped at a little gas station, and that's the thing. I'm going to take this thing to trial if they want to file charges, which they shouldn't, because yet again, they're just going to waste more taxpayer money on the wrongful persecution of me. But basically, I stopped into my little gas station, and I'm going to pull some CCTV coverage from there. It shows how I pulled perfectly into the lines of a parking spot, walked in a completely straight line to get some coffee. So that way in the morning, when I had to go to work, all I had to do was just throw it in the microwave and get ready to go. So while I was leaving the coffee station, I turned on my car and I was backing out, backed in between a car that was at the gas pump and a car that was parked out front. Didn't hit either vehicle. And I'm crossing the street right now. All right, there we go. And didn't hit either vehicle. And after that, song I liked came on the radio, and like I said, I was feeling hella good about myself that day, and the day that I just had, so I accelerated a little quickly up to the speed limit. I didn't speed, and just as the officer said, after he pulled me over outside of city limits, basically said, as he's walking up to the window, you know this vehicle's registration is expired. And that's why he pulled me over. Not because I was driving recklessly or any of that shit. But proceeded to give me a field sobriety test. I probably shouldn't have taken the breathalyzer. I waited to have him give me a blood test, but you know, that's just what I do, is be honest and compliant, which the police wonder why citizens aren't that way, because when you are that way, you get fucked. But anyway, that's just another side story. And so basically, I've obviously failed this field sobriety test, because if you saw the video, you could see just swaths of breath coming out of my mouth while I'm in a t-shirt, shivering, freezing my fucking ass off at 2 in the morning in 40-degree weather. And, you know, really the smart thing would just have been followed me home and been like, okay, you know, there's really nothing going on here. A guy's struggling to try to pay the outrageous uptick in the registration for this vehicle that just happened. Over 50% just went up. Well, 50%, 50% was the percentage. Then, the fucking insurance that I just had to renew went up also. Might be because I didn't pay for the last 6 months because I've never had to use insurance. I'm a fucking ridiculously good driver. But anyway, and it's also something I'm basically standing up for and protesting against, is this forcing of us to buy shit, especially for something that we not only don't need, but then don't receive any compensation back for what we've put into we don't use. And that's just one thing. So I basically now had to ask my grandma to help me pay for everything, because with the amount that the state is hammering down on me with child support, with having to pay for the drug test, for the probation, for the bullshit charges I was on a year ago, for failing to register as something that I'm not, in this continued persecution of someone that's, like what I'm going to try to do is get the news involved, have a line of people showing up and telling this courtroom the things that I've done over the past year, that according to them, I am a alcoholic, drunk driver, sex offender. And this is supposedly the people versus me in this matter, which is obviously not the case, because all these officers do is predatory policing. Oh, we got something here, let's go fishing and get some money. Get a fucking notch on my belt to make it seem like I'm worth something. And don't even realize what they're doing to society. I mean, you can look at every instance where I have been persecuted and clearly seen plain as day that it makes not only my life worse, but the community worse as a result of it. I had a complete and utter fucking, I mean, just, not catastrophe, it's not the word to put it, but along those lines, when that whole thing happened initially, when I was working at McLeod's Grill House and Saloon, caused a whole community uproar. Oh my God, you see what this guy did? He's a sicko. Going all over town, caused more disruption than any type of community service. Same thing with the charges against me from failing to register, and now this one. You basically fucked over a restaurant more than once now, and he's, oh no, these are your bad decisions that are leading to this type of action. No, it's not. I was completely fine and capable of operating my vehicle. I know my limit. But anyway, so then, after being arrested for this bullshit, I get down there, and when they put me, after, you know, this is at the, after I got done at Sebastopol PD, they took me down to the main adult detention facility in Santa Rosa. While getting booked in, the guy sits me down in a seat, and after he pulls me up, he looks at me and goes, "Are you bleeding?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then look down at the seat that I was sitting in, there's this huge fucking red stain in it. So thank you, fucking main adult detention facility, for number one, fuck up. Number two, I get charged, or would have been charged, $3 for this hygiene kit that didn't even have a fucking toothbrush in it. That was missing. And then when I get to court, these fucking pieces of shit don't even have it on record that I actually turned myself in and served my apparently 27-day sentence. I thought it was a 30-day sentence for failing to register. And then, oh man, I tell you what, when I saw this motherfucker come out while I was waiting to get picked up after I got released from jail, man, did I want to fucking lay into that piece of shit. That public defender that wanted to tell me, while, I was basically like, hey, I got someone that's in the, audience there that could testify that he dropped me off multiple times to serve this sentence. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, what's your name? I said, Hollingworth. And he goes, oh, it starts with an H? That means you're not my client. You need to sit there and be quiet. I mean, the complete and utter, not only disregard, but disrespect for individuals in this court system is abhorrent by not just the fucking quote-unquote people that are supposed to defend you, but these prosecutors, judges that completely look down on you and don't even, really give a shit about spending any amount of time about finding what the actual facts of your case are. It's basically, oh, sorry, we got a lot of fucking cases we got to get through. Come on, shut up and let's get moving. It's disgusting. There is no justice. I mean, if you would actually unbiasedly look at the processes that we force these people to go through, it's sick. I mean, not just this one time. This has been multiple instances, not just my own, but that when I get there and talk to these people and the stories that they go through, where they are treated, and like I said, it's completely disgusting. And so after multiple fuck-ups on the state's part, they then released me, and right now they're, I guess, waiting for further investigation for my blood test to come back to decide whether they're going to charge me with a felony DUI. So no matter what, that shit's going to trial. So you're going to waste even more of taxpayer money on prosecuting me than you already have. And yet again, you are making the community worse by your actions. But you just sit there in a fucking office going, oh, look at all this shit on a piece of paper. We got this one. And not actually realize the effect that you have on society. And it's not, like I said, in my instance, the 49ers player that just got arrested in Alabama for possession of marijuana. Same thing, wrongfully being prosecuted. This fucking idiot, Jeff Sessions, just needs to get the fuck out of here. And same thing with, let's see, what's the other thing? Oh, this supposedly student from Berkeley that's, a pretty upstanding individual that's got arrested because he stayed past his green card or some shit. And that's the same thing. This is not just about me. This is about hundreds of people, not just illegal immigrants that are actually, because, hey, there may be an illegal immigrant in the kitchen that I'm working with. And everyone in there, I've got no problems with. They're working hard. They're good individuals. And I mean, if that's what they are doing, they are trying to be gainfully employed. They are trying to be a good citizen, which in my instance is fucking plain as day. I showed the officer the proof of that I went down to the DMV and paid my registration fee that went up. And because I couldn't afford insurance, those motherfuckers reported me and said, oh, he's not got insurance. And then that suspends your registration, apparently, which is why I got pulled over. I mean, it's just fee. And literally, I got mugged when I went into jail. They literally, even though it was only 31 cents, if I had gone in there with any amount of money, just, oh, we're going to fucking take that because you owe for fucking child support for kids that got fucking taken from me that I ain't fucking seen in years, that I've tried to get a hold of the bitch that has them. I ain't got no fucking reply back on the email, which is the only means of communication I have to get with her. I mean, it's insane. And the fact that nobody actually really wants to look at the truth of the matter, just, oh, we have to prove that we're not, fucking up here, just like they always do with their officers. Sweep that shit under the rug. The law is not the fucking wrong side when it is. There's no justice whatsoever being served in the prosecution of me. It's fucking plain as day. You just fucked over a restaurant. You're gonna fuck over my fucking driving, which I'm still driving right now. Oh, by the way, I just renewed my driver's license, which should be coming in the mail in a couple weeks. Re-updated my insurance, and right now I'm on my way to get my vehicle smogged to get my registration back. So, fuck you, Sonoma County. You're a piece of shit.